Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Super Defense Robot Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for April 2021. This is the deck used by Orbital 7 in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal anime. It was definitely a comedic deck at that, putting a parody on Galaxy Eye's Photon Dragon with Orbital 7's main go-to boss monster, which was Googly Eye's Drum Dragon. Like I said, just a complete play on the main monster of Kite. Yeah, but still, I would say it's an overlooked deck altogether. We never really got support for this deck. It still has the same three monsters, so if we ever do get support, it'll definitely be completely out of nowhere. But hey, we're getting support for Sherry from 5Ds, which the Chevalier support, definitely has been out a lot longer than this support, so I guess anything's possible later on down the road. But it's a really, really interesting deck that focuses on just overlaying into Googly Eye's Drum Dragon as your main go-to play, and just being able to get out all the different Super Defense Robos onto the field pretty easily. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the actual Super Defense Robot monsters, I run 3 Super Defense Robot Elephant. Now this is definitely going to be a tongue twister because I'm just so used to saying Super Defense Robo, but they are Super Defense Robots. But with one of our most important ones being Elephant, with this one, when this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 Super Defense Robot Monkey, I was about to say monkey, monster from or Orbital 7 from your hand. And once per turn, you can target 1 Super Defense Robot or Orbital 7 you control, and it becomes level 8 until the end phase. This card cannot be used as an Xyz material except for the Xyz summon of a machine-type monster, which we run a pretty good amount of different machine-type monsters in the deck, so you're really not limited with the play style of your Elephant. With this play, just being able to run all the different options in our extra deck to not really focus on this limitation, but you also have the option of Link monsters now with your different Super Defense Robots. So if need be, you can always go into a Link 2 just as easily as your rank 8 play. With the majority main rank 8 play you wanting to go into will be Googly Eye's Drum Dragon. I also run 3 Super Defense Robot Monkey. Now this is the one I obviously got the names mixed up there. For the monsters, when this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 Super Defense Robot monster or Orbital 7 from your hand. Once per turn, you can banish 1 machine-type monster from your graveyard and target 1 Defense Robot monster or Orbital 7 monster and add that target to your hand. So more recycle power with these cards. Elephant, I would say, is definitely the most important for the fact that you have to use this to get the other robots in Orbital 7 up to level 8 for the rank 8 Xyz. But having this one as the option just to banish a machine-type monster from your graveyard, then target 1 Super Defense Robot monster or Orbital 7 in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, just gives you more consistency because these cards don't specify special summoning from the hand or graveyard. They only special summon from the hand. So you need to add these cards back to your hand for you to reuse over and over again. With the last of these Super Defense Robots being Super Defense Robot Leo. With this one, when it's normal summon, having the same special summon option for Super Defense Robots or Orbital 7 from your hand. And once per turn, when exactly 1 Super Defense Robot monster or Orbital 7 and no other card is added from the graveyard to your hand except during the damage step, you can special summon it from your hand. So this is the card that gives you options not just on your normal summon, but being able to special summon out onto the field with more and more consistency using these cards. That's why I like to run all maximum numbers, because they all work together for the level adjustment and just being able to summon them out for all of your different plays. Now for the Orbital 7 option, I do have the 2 Lilybot and the 1 Orbital 7 in the deck. Lilybot, when it's normal summon or flip face up, you can target 1 Orbital 7 in your graveyard, special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. And once per turn, you can contribute any number of machine type monsters to special summon Photon and or Galaxy monsters, which that effect, just like Orbital 7's, is irrelevant in this deck. That's why I'm only running 1 copy of Orbital 7, because most of the time it's just a power up play for this card. It really doesn't do much with the Super Defense Robots themselves. Once you have the 1 Orbital 7 ready to go in your hand and then it's in the graveyard again, it's much better, I would say, to just recycle it with Lilybot back onto the field to use for more and more extra deck plays while focusing on the Super Defense Robos themselves for the actual, overlay into Googly Eyes. And then with our 1 super defense robot Elefon being put to the test at the most for being normal summoned out onto the field. I wanted to test some other machine type monsters to work with it, so I'm also running 3 Chronomaly Mayan Machine. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a machine type monster, and I'll show the combo at the end of the video that I like to do with this card. If you didn't want to run Mayan Machine, you can always run Gearspring Spirit. It's a level 8 machine type monster that can be special summoned by just having machine type monsters in the graveyard. So the biggest thing is not going into other things from the extra deck when using that card, and it also takes away from the hand trap we're running in the deck. That's why I preferred to run this card over Gearspring in the deck, so just remember that with this card. But still, really good for the Elefon play, just an easy summon out onto the field. For more easy special summoning onto the field, the super defense robots, change their levels to level 8 with Elefon, but having Machina Cannon as just another easy special summon option. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 or more machine type monsters from your hand to the graveyard, and this card gains 800 attack for each card sent to the graveyard for this special summon. So you're not really going to need to send too many, because you're just going to use this card as a level 8 option. Then overlaying them together with some of your other ones you have on the field. Elefon can just be out on the field, then you can summon Machina Cannon if you have the setup just for another easy special summon to rely on. And lastly, to finish off the monsters in the main deck, just the 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Like I said, I like to have this hand trap option in the deck as a resource to go into to stop my opponent's plays, and Gearspring Spirit can take away from that option. But if you wanted to leave the Mayan Machine in the deck, you can always take out the Ash Blossoms for Gearspring Spirit as just another option for more special summoning for level 8 monsters onto the field. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I run 2 Iron Call. If you control a machine type monster, target 1 level 4 lower machine type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target, but its effects are negated during the end phase. So as long as you have your Elefon on the field, it doesn't matter if the other ones like Monkey and Leo have their effects negated. You're going to use Elefon to adjust the level of those monsters. So just another easy special summon onto the field, adjusting level to 8, and then overlaying the 2 of them into Googly Eyes Drum Dragon. For more draw power in the deck, I also run 2 Iron Draw. If you control exactly 2 machine effect monsters and no other monsters, draw 2 cards. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you can only special summon once and only activate 1 Iron Draw per turn. So the best thing about this is that's going to be the play most of the time in the deck. You're going to have 1 monster on the field, and most of the time, hopefully, the 1 Elefon for the change of level for the other monster. And then with that, you'll have the 2 monsters required for your Iron Draw, and then you'll draw 2 cards, which you're going to eat up your hand a lot in this deck, so that draw will definitely come in handy. And then the last play you will do will be overlaying your 2 monsters into your 1 Xyz monster, being your Googly Eyes Drum Dragon. That may be your last play, but at least then you'll have hand next turn to use for more summons out on the field, and it's really only the 1 play you'll need to rely on. And I also run 2 Double Summon. Now, this is the card I like to run with the Chronomaly Mayan Machine. Being able to basically summon out Mayan Machine, use Double Summon to then gain the additional normal summon by treating Mayan Machine to go into Elefon. And being able to then use Elefon's effect to special summon a super defense robot from our hand onto the field and then adjust the levels of it and going into Googly Eyes Drum Dragon. And 2 limiter removal, with machines being a big part of the deck, and even one of them being our 3,000 attack point boss monster. Being able to put this card up to 6,000 attack can be the game-winning play against your opponent. And once again, I spoke of running Gearspring Spirit and also just having Machina Cannon and also Elefon in the deck as a majority of level 8 monsters. I run 3 trade-in with this card. Just discard 1 level 8 monster to draw 2 cards. So with, like I said, with that majority of them being level 8 monsters, it's just more draw power. If you open up multiple Elefons in your hand, sometimes just discarding the 1 for more potential better cards to rely on to tribute out Elefon can be a better chance to go into. And the fact that trade-in's not a once per turn makes it all the better for sure. And for the one-ofs, for the spells, I run 1 Reasoning, all the different levels for the super defense robots. That's why I like running this card. Just an easy special summon onto the field. And once again, if your opponent doesn't call 8, which if they know this deck inside and out, they should call for 8, but it is definitely a mystery kind of deck against a lot of different opponents. So the ones I tested against didn't really know what numbers to call out. Most of the time, they just called 4, and I would end up summoning Elefon onto the field. 1 Monster Reborn, special summoning resources back onto the field. You could just be short that 1 monster for the Xyz play. Foolish Burial helps to set up Orbital 7 in the graveyard, especially with the Lilybot play, giving me just another monster on the field to use, and 1 Call by the Grave, and 1 Harpy Feather Duster, taking care of my opponent's graveyard monsters, but Harpy's Feather Duster helps for me to clear the way, because investing all my plays into 1 Xyz monster, if my opponent stops it with like Solemn Strike or Warning, that could be the one play I had and not be able to come back from any other one. So being able to at least rely on Feather Duster to clear the back row and then go for my 3,000 attack point Xyz monster definitely helps and makes sure that you don't have to worry about anything else once that card hits the field, because then you have these special summon capabilities of Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, which we'll go over when we get to the extra deck. And lastly, for the traps, the only traps I'm running in the deck are back to the front. Once again, just like with Monster Reborn and Iron Call, resources back onto the field. The only difference with this card and the other ones is you can summon Elephant from the graveyard back onto the field. It'll be in defense position, having 2,500 defense. That's why I preferred this card to over Call of the Haunted, for the fact that they'll go in defense position and definitely be more of a defensive capability card, since all of the super defense robots have higher defense than attack points. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. It is our boss monster, and with some of the limitations of only being able to go into machine monsters, I run 3 Googly Eyes Drum Dragon. You need 2 level 8 machine type monsters to make it. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, and it gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. If this card is destroyed while it has Xyz material, you can banish 1 super defense robot from your graveyard to special summon this card. Then you can attach 1 super defense robot monster from your graveyard to this card as material. So the fact that this card can gain 1,000 attack off of its own detach, and then rely on cards like limiter removal, that could be the 8,000 points of damage to finish your opponent, as long as they have no other monsters on the field, which you can use by using other machine type monsters to go into other link monsters to clear their monster board. For some of the other Xyz monsters, I run the 1 Dingirsu. This is a rank 8 machine, so once again we can use Elephant for that overlay. Same with Giant Grinder, and also number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. With some of the other rank Xyz, with them, most of the time I have to end up using Machina Cannon to summon them, like number 68, number 38, number 62, and 1 Heretic Sun, Overlord of Heliopolis. If you make these cards, I don't make them as often as all the other machines in the deck, just because it's that much easier to make these cards, but I like to have the different options available. If you want to run any other different type of monsters, you can try some rank 3 or rank 4 monsters like Leviair or even Gear Guide X as different ones, instead of going full rank 8 Xyz. And for the Link monsters, I run 1 Cross Sheep. This is in here just for the added benefit of when you summon an Xyz monster to one of the arrows this card has. 1 Nightmare Cerberus, just for the destruction plays I spoke of before, being able to clear the way. For Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, you can summon this in the extra monster zone and not have any worry about just summoning Googly Eyes into the main monster zone with Master Rule 5. 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. And then lastly, 1 Borreload Dragon to finish off the Link monsters for the deck. And then as for the go-to plays in the deck, like I spoke of before, a big one, if you have just the setup of your double summon in your hand, you can rely on this card along with your Mind Machine. And then as long as you have 1 additional super defense robo in your hand, or even the Elephant play, what can be good about this setup is just being able to special summon a super defense robo or orbital 7 from your hand. Like I said, this card can be counted as the play. So the biggest time you want to use this play is if you have a super defense robo on your field and you just don't have the tributes for it. This can be a resource special summon, let's say from back to the front, or Monster Reborn from your graveyard. So then you'll summon the Mind Machine and then use double summon to tribute Mind Machine for Robot Elephant, being able to then adjust the levels for Robot Leo, and overlaying the 2 into your Googly Eyes Drum Dragon. Now just remember, you have the option, if you had Leo in your hand, just to, when it's normal summon, to special summon a super defense robo from your hand, and then you can just use Elephant for the level adjustment from there, just using 2 cards for the same resource. So these cards only pop up if you already have the resource on the field to use, and then you can go into them from there. But also just having the Mind Machine in your hand can be fodder for other cards you run in the deck, since it is a machine type like Machina Cannon, and then just being able to send it to the graveyard to have the additional summon onto the field with Robot Leo set up like this. You can even then summon the Mind Machine from your graveyard using the previous Monster Reborn that I spoke of, being able to summon it onto the field, going for the Link to play, which can be the cross-sheet play that you summon out first into the extra monster zone, and then using these two level 8 monsters to go into Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, and then benefiting from the Xyz play of having all monsters your opponent control lose 700 attack, which means you can just hit for more damage using Googly Eyes Drum Dragon against that opponent's monster. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This is definitely an overlooked deck from the Zexal series. It wasn't played much, but once again, definitely would be a surprise if we do see more support later on down the road. Even a rank up spell would be crazy for Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, since it was such a big play of Kite in the series as well. Even in the Arc 5 anime with Cypher Dragons, if we got Googly Eyes Drum Dragon rank up form, or even like a garbage rank up Xyz card, I think that would be pretty hilarious for sure. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.